callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the Ask the Expert Show with local celebrity hosts Steve-O and Renee. Sit back each week while Steve-O and Renee educate you with live in-studio experts, such as lawyers, doctors, home improvement, and financial experts in their field. Call in and have your questions answered each week at 888-565-1470. Now, here is Steve-O and Renee with today's expert in their field.
Good afternoon and welcome to another Ask the Experts, where we bring you the top experts in their field, in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. I'm Steve-O and I'm here with my co-host today, Renee, and we have got an incredible show.
We do.
The last time we did this show,
inundated with phone calls.
Inundated with calls. And I knew this was going to be a great show. We have some incredible guests in today. If you'd like to watch today's show live, you can watch us live right now at www.kbrlegal. That's K, B as in boy, R as in Robert, legal.com. And just click on at the top of the page where it says News PR. Click right there and you can watch our show live today, or you can actually go back and watch it later too.
That's right.
So we have in studio today, I think one of the top, they're not going to probably say this, but we can say this.
Exactly.
The top community association law firm in
HOA.
Florida, not just here in South Florida, in Florida, the law firm of Kay, Bender, and Rimbaum. And where's Rimbaum at? He's never here. It's Robert and Michael.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Somebody has to be working. And Jeff is actually teaching a class right now.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay. So,
well, if you have a question for them, you could call us at 888-565-1470. And we received so many emails last time you were on the show thanking us for offering them a show like this,
Our
which
pleasure.
is really nice. And so tell everybody a little bit about your law firm.
Well, thank you, Renee. The law firm has been practicing in this area for about 23 years, and we offer a wide range of services to community associations, complete aspects of all their needs. I'm not sure how much else to say at this
just tell all the different areas your firm does handle, though.
Okay. Well, primarily community association representation is what we do mostly. We can and do other types of work in general corporate work, in civil litigation work, in probate work, but a lot of that comes out of the community associations. For the associations, we work involved in their document review, document creation, working with amendments, covenant enforcement, contract negotiations for renovations that they do, also collections of their delinquent assessments.
So, and then you have more than just one office. You have several offices.
We
Where
have
are your
two
offices
offices
located?
presently. We're in Pompano Beach is our main office, and Palm Beach Gardens is our second office.
Wonderful. We
You know what's
already have
amazing?
phone calls.
We just
We've
gave
been
the
on the
number out.
phone. We've been on the air for 2 minutes. We've already gotten phone
So
calls.
let's go to the phones and start off. We have so much to talk about for
We
the
have
next hour.
Jack on the phone.
Jack
Ken.
from Pompano.
Hey, Jack.
Yes.
So you have a question for our attorneys?
Yes, I do. I'm in a condominium in Pompano Beach, in Palm Air, and we have had a hoarder in one of our units in a 6-story, 60-unit building for years. He's not here anymore. But are you there?
Yes.
We're here.
Okay, but a lot of stuff is still left in there. We are having lakes around our building, and it stirred up a whole bunch of rats and other animals that have lived in the wooded area. In his unit are 2 dead rats, and they've been there for, I imagine, close to about 4 months. What is our recourse in this building about this?
Jack, you mentioned the owner's no longer there. Is the
Correct.
owner, where is he?
I don't know.
He's just disappeared? He hasn't passed away or anything?
As far as I know, no, he has not passed away.
Well, the association has remedies available to it. The first thing you need to do is put the owner on written notice that the condition's in violation and that they need to take steps to correct it, giving them a
Okay.
short period of time. If you don't know where to reach them, then you would send that to the unit address, send it by certified mail, and send a copy by regular mail. Typically, certified mail doesn't carry good news, so often it doesn't get picked up, but the regular mail will be delivered, and then you'll know at least somebody received it. If after a short period of time goes by and you do not hear back from him, the association has a right of access to the unit under the statute to protect the common elements and other units from
Correct.
imminent danger, which the condition can cause. So in your notification to the owner, you can inform him that the association will be going into the unit after a specified period of time. A date certain is preferred, and then do so. When you do go into the unit, don't go alone. Bring multiple board members with you. Document the condition on video. Notify the police that you're doing it so that somebody doesn't claim you're breaking and entering. You want to protect the association as best you can to make certain that nobody's claiming you did damage or stole items. The other option you have is to bring legal action against the owner to compel him to clean up the place. That takes longer.
Yeah. If we can't find him, then
Well, finding him is certainly important to get legal action done. If
Or
you
charge
can't
the
find him,
rent or something.
you know, but once you're in there and you see everything that's there, you can't simply throw it away. You have to make sure that you're not going to be in a position that somebody's claiming that you cost them lots of money for their priceless items of junk that you discarded. So you may
Priceless
have to
items of
store
junk,
it somewhere.
yeah. What do we do with the rats? Leave them there?
No,
Charge 'em.
The rats you need to have them removed. You'll want to bring an exterminator in.
Can I just take them and dump them? Get rid
Well,
of 'em?
you can certainly do that. The problem you have is there may be others. There may
I
be
know.
live ones.
That's true.
And like Robert mentioned, you'll want to definitely document the condition as you enter the unit, what it looks like as you go in,
Yeah.
and also and you'll clean out the rats, any foodstuffs, things of that nature that'll bring immediate danger of vermin, like you mentioned, that could spread, bugs, things of that nature. And then as you're leaving the unit, you'll document the condition as well, so there's an obvious record of exactly what you did while you were in there.
Okay. We've notified the management company about this in the past, and as far as we can see, nothing's been done. What you're suggesting, I am the building representative. I can do this myself, or do I get? I'm also a board member. Do we
It's best
tell
to have the
management company to have them do
association
it?
handle it through the board.
Okay. Okay. We have a meeting Wednesday night, so I'll bring it up then.
Does that help, Jack?
Pardon me?
Does that help? Answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Okay, great. Thanks for calling, Jack.
Thanks for calling in, Jack.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does that happen often? I mean, with snowbirds, you hear about people leaving, but
It happens more frequently than
Does it?
you'd like, yes.
wow.
Orders, yep.
Would hate to see those pictures. So, anyway, we're here in studio. You can call us at 888-565-1470 if you have a question for Robert Kay or Michael Bender. They're the senior partners of Kay, Bender, and Rimbaum. Let's talk about some common issues now that happen with associations that you deal with. Tell us about some of those.
Well, some of the more common, that one
Was this-
question that just came up is actually, as Robert mentioned, more common than we'd like to hear. A couple of the more common issues that we've seen for years and haven't gone away are issues of unauthorized occupants. It happened a lot when there were a lot of abandonments of properties with bank foreclosures, which is calming down, but there were a lot of people who would perhaps abandon their unit
read about
and rent the unit, quote unquote, to individuals who ultimately there'd be no payment to the association, there'd be no payments, perhaps to ultimately the tenant would stop even paying the landlord. But unauthorized occupants, a lot of governing documents, especially in the condominium setting, do require owners to have their tenants or even guests, when they're not present, be approved by the association. And certainly if they're going to be long-term guests, in excess of 14, 30 days to be approved. Now, these have to be within the governing document. So a lot of questions come up that we get a lot.
How do you assist with those? Because I heard about one of them on the news where someone was staying in some like $5 million home. I mean, it's like, and you hear about this more and more now.
Right. Well, what we recommend, obviously, is you have to, it starts with your governing documents. The Florida statutes aren't going to necessarily assist you when it comes to whether you have the right to approve or disapprove occupants in the homes or the units. And so your governing documents, the declaration of covenants in an HOA or the declaration of condominium in a condominium, or your governing documents even in your cooperatives will instruct on what rights you have as the association through your board of directors to require owners or their occupants to submit application, perhaps an application fee, and be screened and approved. If you don't have those...
So what are the ramifications if they don't do that?
If they don't have that ability, then that's the kind of thing that's what Robert's talking about. So one of the things we do help with is amending documents. That's one of the things we look for in documents, that you want to have that right. And in most communities, that's something that the majority of the membership, or a large majority of the membership, should support. You want to know who's going to be living in your community,
of course,
and have that especially if it's especially in a condominium where you're sharing hallways, elevators, things of that nature. What happens all too often is if you'll reach out to these people, ask them to submit applications, ask the owners to get their occupants or to submit applications, and if they ignore it, then you should, as a board, be uniformly enforcing your governing documents. And what that means is you need to send maybe 1 or 2 violation notices, and if they fail to respond satisfactorily, you refer them to your legal counsel. If you don't take legal action to address the violation that they haven't brought into compliance, then the communities run the risk of losing the ability to enforce these covenants in the future. And that's why it's very important to uniformly enforce your governing documents. So in that instance, they would refer them to our office. We would send a more firm demand letter, and often that does wake people up, and we get the bid.
You know what? If you're in charge of hiring the firm to represent you, don't start Googling. Here's a firm right here that this is basically all you do.
Or if you have a law firm that's representing you, you could always switch over if you're not happy with that particular law firm.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, don't just hire a lawyer and think they're going to be able to help you, because there's laws changing all the time, I'm sure, when it comes to HOA and condo association.
It is an area that is every year there's changes in legislation. It is, as we talked about, there's document specific. It is an area that you want to have someone who's experienced in community association assisting your board and your management team.
So let's give everybody your phone number.
Okay. We have an 800. The 800 number is 800-974-0680. The main line for Pompano is 954-928-0680, and for Palm Beach Gardens is 561-241-4462.
Let's give out your website again, because they can actually watch the show right now. But you guys have got such a great website. I went there. I spent like 30 minutes there last week, and you've got really a great website.
Yes.
Thank you.
Your website address is?
It's kbrlegal.com. Thank you.
Let's go to break right now. When we come back, we've got so much more to talk about, and we will be right back.
Is your community association looking for prompt, effective, cost-efficient, and understandable legal advice and services? You'll find that and more with K. Bender Rembaum, a full-service commercial law firm concentrating on the representation of more than 800 community associations throughout Florida. With offices in Broward and Palm Beach counties, K. Bender Rembaum assists clients in all matters of association representation, including but not limited to collection of assessments, contract negotiation, covenant review and amendment, covenant enforcement, and construction defect claims. Under the direction of attorneys Robert K., Michael Bender, and Jeffrey Rembaum, K. Bender Rembaum is dedicated to providing clients with an unparalleled level of personalized and professional service regardless of their size, and takes into account their individual needs and financial concerns. For more information, visit www.kbrlegal.com or call 954-928-0680.
And we're back. And if you have a question, you can call us anytime during the show at 888-565-1470 to speak to either Robert Kay or Michael Bender.
So let's talk about the, you offer free town hall meetings, which is wonderful because it's about education. So tell everybody about the free town hall meetings.
Okay. This is the 7th year that we're proud to offer these town hall seminars. And they are we give them about 2 a month starting toward the end of November, and they run through March or April. And they're in Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade is where we set them up.
Is there a charge for that?
They are free. And our education is uniformly, when we provide our education in our offices, these town hall seminars, it's our pleasure to go out and give something back to the community association industry.
Who would be interested in these type
town
of-
hall seminars are geared toward property managers and board members who want to get education. We have interested owners who perhaps are looking toward getting on their board in the future, or just have some questions that perhaps they need some clarification on. So that's the target audience. Then what we do is that these seminars, we talk about changes in legislation that have impact on community associations. But what we've learned over the years is the best approach to these seminars, and that's why we call them town hall, is we really take the hot topics of the day. We ask if you're going to attend, try RSVP, so we have our numbers, of course, but more importantly, it's so that you can submit questions or topics in advance. And at each seminar, we will take the topics and questions that we have, and we will discuss them. And of course, and periodically we'll take topics from the floor. And so we've had people attend multiple seminars because there's rarely two that are the same. We'll have overlapping topics. The unauthorized occupant topic comes up, support animals comes up, collection foreclosure still comes up, but it is geared toward those in attendance. And so we're very proud to be able to present these, and they've gone over very well. Like I said,
Where
our
do you hold
7th
them
year. This year, the first seminar is going to be in Tamarack.
Okay.
And do you have that information?
I don't think we do. We just know it's in
The
Tamarack.
schedule and the locations are published on our website. We have not set the complete schedule yet. We're still in the process of negotiating the locations. Some of them are going to start at 6:30 in the evening. Some of them will start at 9:30 in the morning. So for those who are more inclined to a morning type session, we want to be able to make that availability as well.
Let's give the number here again if you have a question for Robert or Michael. It's 888-565-1470.
Okay. Let's remind them, if you would like to watch today's show, you could go to their websites, www.kbrlegal.com. So you just discussed some of the topics that are discussed at these town hall meetings. They could go to your website. Everything's available online. If they'd like to sign up today, so they have to call, what can they sign up on the website as well?
The sign up will be through Pearson Grant, who is our PR firm, and they have the invitations will be posted on our website with the email address where to RSVP to. We also do have email. We'll email the invitations out to people who've attended prior seminars. And if you're interested in getting on our email list, you can just email your information to info at kbrlegal.com. Just ask to be put on our mailing list, and we'll make sure that you're added and get invitations to all of our seminars and classes.
Yes, an interested party should RSVP to let us know they're coming, because we do serve some snacks, and we want to make sure we have enough for everybody.
How about enough chairs after our
And
our
chairs,
last
yes.
show? Wow, there were so many people calling. We've gotten at least 15 or 20 emails thanking us for bringing a show like this. So there's a lot of interest out there. Do you have to be a board member to come to these?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
So just someone who's like interested in the association, what's going on in their property, can actually come to these?
Yes, we get a wide variety of people who attend. Like I said, we have property managers, we have board members, we have interested owners, and occasionally we have people who just are in the community association industry. They might be bankers, realtors, accountants, because it's all about education.
Exactly. So tell us again, what are the hot topics that you'll probably be talking about in your first seminar?
Well, the hottest topic of today seems to be the issue of emotional support animals in pet-restricted communities. That seems to be something that has has grown. There seems to be a lot more pet restricted communities than you might think, and it's become quite fashionable for people to try and get around that restriction by bringing in a note from some form of medical provider. And the law has been evolving in this area over the past several years. It used to be much more liberal, allowing for the animals. The laws have tightened up a bit, but it's still very important to be aware of them because it falls under fair housing and it's discrimination issues, and those things can turn out to be very expensive for associations if they cross the line and they are found to
Why
be
is that?
discriminatory.
Renee's father's property, there's a big sign, no pets beyond this point. Why is that? What is the reason?
Why do they restrict pets?
Why do they restrict pets?
I think you find this more in a condominium than you do in a homeowner association
is,
setting, because the building's more of a high-rise type situation. It's smaller. There's less available facilities for animals, and other people find animals to be nuisance to them. They want to be away from them. But the rights of the animal owners are also taken into consideration.
Or they feel that they're not going to clean up after the animals as well.
Well, that's certainly an issue.
And you
And
do,
noise.
and you also do with your town hall meetings. It's set up as a question-answer format.
Yes.
How does that benefit the people who attend there by having a format of question-answer?
Primarily because that allows the program to address what they're interested in as opposed to what we want to tell them.
Right.
We do offer the opportunity for people to submit questions in advance, and that's helpful to us so we can be more prepared. But if they don't, we're certainly open to them asking questions as they're sitting there, and they very regularly do.
And remember that you must RSVP.
You don't must, but it's recommended.
Yeah, because look, I mean, if twice as many people show up, it could be, you might not have a chair, first of all, and you might not even have the free food there.
That's the important part, yeah.
But please listen. I mean, there's not very many firms who offer something like this, so take advantage of it.
And they're free. And if you have a question, again, you could call us here at 888-565-1470.
Now, I want to talk about. You offer other sorts of meetings for certification also.
We do offer free education classes in both our Pompano and Palm Beach Gardens office. Board member education, which gets board members certified, which is a requirement under Florida law now for condominium board members, HOA board members, and cooperative board members. They can either fill out a certificate that they've read their documents and they will honor and uphold them, or they can get an education certificate, which, candidly, I think whether you fill out that little certificate or not, you should go get a board member education class. And we're proud to offer them monthly in both of our offices. And they are 2-hour classes. They are, again, all free. And again, snacks are provided. And if property managers...
Since seating is limited, RSVP is definitely needed for those.
And property managers, if they do choose to attend, are entitled to get CEU credits as well, and those are also free. In our Pompano office, the next condominium class, board member class, will be tomorrow, October 7th. In Palm Beach, it'll be October 21st. The HOA class in Pompano will be October 21st. In Palm Beach, it'll be October 14th. And then we have classes for November and December. All of these are, of course, listed on our website. And we do encourage you to go to kbrlegal.com, and you can get those addresses. And those you email directly, you RSVP directly to either the Pompano office if you're going to attend in Pompano, or the Palm Beach Gardens office if you're going to attend in Palm Beach Gardens.
Okay, so now I also want to talk about the Fair Housing Act seminars that you do. I want to talk
Fair
about,
housing? Mm-hmm.
And tell us a bit about those type of seminars.
The fair housing seminars that we're offering now at the Pompano office is a 1-hour class, and it is what the hot topic Robert was mentioning earlier, which is assistance animal versus pet, and which do you want, and the distinction between the two. That 1-hour class is also available in Palm Beach Gardens. Both offices also have a 2-hour class. You just need to contact the offices and find out when they're going to be scheduled. I just want to add one thing. The support animal class, the assistance animal versus pet, we're also proud to be presenting it this Thursday, October 9th, at Gulfstream in Hallandale at the CAI Southeast Florida Chapter Annual Expo. And we encourage everyone in the area to come down to that, to hear that class, as well as visit us at
That's
our
a
booth.
hot topic now.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of other things, that education and booths that they can visit. And then next week on October 15th, next Wednesday, at the Palm Beach County Convention Center, we will have a booth at that South Florida Community Association Expo, and I will also be presenting in the support animal class at there. So you can contact either CAI Southeast Florida or the South Florida Community Association Expo to RSVP for either of those classes, or send me an email at info@kbrlegal.com, and I'll make sure you get RSVP'd.
Yes, we do. We have a question. So we have Andrea on the line. Hi, Andrea.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Do you have a question for our attorneys?
I do. First of all, I want to tell you I love your show. I think it's so interesting. But I did have a question for the attorneys, getting back to the pets in condos. It just so happens my father lives in a retirement community, and although there's a sign there, too, that says no pets allowed, there are a couple of people that you do see walking dogs in the developments. It just so happens I'm also very big into animal rescue. Now, I happen to know people that have adopted from me. What about, I wanted to ask about that law called through Citizens for Pets in Condos. Isn't it a legal right for somebody, whether it's emotional support for health reasons, isn't it a legal right for somebody to, that they have to allow them to have one dog as a service dog?
Well, the issue is one that falls under fair housing laws, and when you're dealing with emotional support animals under the fair housing laws, they're not considered pets. They're an animal, but not a, quote, pet. So restrictions in your documents refer to pets. So by qualifying to have an emotional support animal, you're not violating the documents because it's not technically a pet. And this comes into play when you have weight limitations in the documents, or when you have limitations on the number of animals that, or a number of pets that an owner can have. Since they're not pets, they fall outside of that. The other areas that you're asking about in protective rights, it's really all a fair housing issue.
Okay, because I'm just curious if legally, and I'm not just talking about for emotional support, you could have your doctor write a letter that it's for your health, because it's a known fact that it helps people live longer, it does help if people have high blood pressure. It's a very good thing for people, especially the people, to have a pet. I mean, I know that some places do have restrictions on weight, but I guess my question is, can they deny you, even though that is a law, if Citizens for Pets in Condos, if you have legal documentation from or a note from your doctor, can they deny having you owning a dog in your development?
Andrea? Hi, Andrea.
Yes.
Andrea, this is Mike. As follow-up to what Robert was discussing, if under fair housing laws, if the individual who desires to have the animal, let's just say it's the dog, to have the dog in a what is otherwise either a pet community that prohibits pets, or as you mentioned, even has weight restrictions, then there is that means is the individual is asking for a reasonable accommodation. They're asking for the board to grant them an accommodation or an exception to the restriction and allow them to have this animal, because it is not, under fair housing laws, considered a pet. In order, though, to grant that exception, in my opinion, there has to be, the law does require that the individual requesting it provides substantial documentation, or substantive documentation, I should say, not substantial, substantive documentation that supports the request. They can't just bring the animal in, show a certificate that they might have gotten off the internet and say, well, here, this is a certified support animal, and now you have to allow me to keep it. But if they do provide proper documentation, and we encourage all of our communities that we represent to have an application package. So if someone requests this accommodation, they have the association, the board member, the property manager can hand a package, a very clean package to the individual requesting it, they can fill it out, including a letter, which would also supporting information from their qualified medical provider to support the request. And anyone who's obviously making a legitimate request should have no trouble filling that out, getting it back to the board, and then the board should grant that accommodation.
Does that help?
Okay.
Thanks, Andrea.
You've answered my question. Thank you very
Thanks so
much.
much for calling. Hey, let's go to break. When we come back, we've got Bonnie and Mark on the line hanging for more questions. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Steve-O with the Ask the Experts radio show. Join my co-host Renee and I every Friday as we interview some of the most prominent professionals in Palm Beach and Broward County. Each week we combine educational information on a variety of topics with a touch of humor and entertainment in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement so you can be more informed. We offer interviews on such topics as family law, foreclosure defense, estate planning, sleep apnea, roof repair, funeral pre-needs, mold and mildew, alcoholism addiction, and even a show that teaches you how to buy a new and used car from one of the top dealerships in South Florida. If you have a business and would like to be part of the Ask the Expert show, contact us at 954-336-3767. Position your company as an expert in your field. Call Ask the Experts radio show at 954-336-3767. Be sure to catch our show every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. or watch our show live at wwnnradio.com and click on the WWNN TV link.
Is your community association looking for prompt, effective, cost-efficient, and understandable legal advice and services? You'll find that and more with K. Bender Rembaum, a full-service commercial law firm concentrating on the representation of more than 800 community associations throughout Florida. With offices in Broward and Palm Beach counties, K. Bender Rembaum assists clients in all matters of association representation, including but not limited to collection of assessments, contract negotiation, covenant review and amendment, covenant enforcement, and construction defect claims. Under the direction of attorneys Robert K., Michael Bender, and Jeffrey Rembaum, K. Bender Rembaum is dedicated to providing clients with an unparalleled level of personalized and professional service regardless of their size and takes into account their individual needs and financial concerns. For more information, visit www.kbrlegal.com or call 954-928-0680.
And we're back. Wow, the lines are just going nuts. Let's see. Do we still have Bonnie on the phone, Ken? Let's go to Bonnie.
Hello, Bonnie.
Hello. Hi.
Do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question regarding a co-op and what we're responsible for. We have had major roof leaks as a result of a faulty roof membrane. So one of the units, we had to remove the ceiling, the kitchen, the walls, and the flooring. And of course, I told them go to their insurance. Insurance denied. So now they're looking toward us to make all these major repairs.
Well,
I just want to confirm in a co-op that it's just the drywall is what the responsibility is.
Well, co-ops are a little different of an animal. You have to review your proprietary lease very carefully to see what the breakup is as to the maintenance responsibilities between the owner and the building. The bylaws may also have provisions. The statutes on cooperatives are less involved than those are for condominiums. Cooperatives all tend to have been around since before the statute. So the statutes are dealing with more of the operational aspects, how your elections occur and things of that nature. So issues involving damages and repairs are much more document specific. So it isn't something you can just give a general rule about and say this is what's going to be.
Perfect. Okay. So it's not the statutes wouldn't.
Not on this type of issue. So the association should have an attorney that you can go to that can tell you the specifics as to your documents. If not, you can certainly contact our office.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Let's give everybody your phone number again.
Pompano Beach, 954-928-0680. Palm Beach Gardens, 561-241-4462. Our 800 number, 800-974-0680.
Okay, we have another caller. We have Mark on the line. Hey, Mark.
Hi.
You have a question for our attorneys?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a question for the attorneys?
Yeah, long-time listener, first-time caller. I have a question for Robert. I heard you guys were talking about the town hall meetings, and I was just curious to know, I guess, like what type of snacks would potentially be served at these meetings. And then I have a substantive question about the condo community I live in Boca West.
Well,
What kind of snacks are you
the
offering?
snacks are generally light in nature.
They're all kosher.
They're certainly cookies, cheese,
They are
crackers,
kosher?
fruits.
No, cookies and cheese and crackers and fruit and a multitude of drinks.
Okay, and like there are enough snacks to be allocated among everyone?
As long as we know how many are coming.
Okay, I'll make sure to RSVP.
Thank you, Mark.
While we're on the topic of condominiums, I live in Boca West, and my next-door neighbor is a middle-aged woman, and I noticed that gentlemen come into her condominium unit regularly throughout the day and the night, and I do hear noises, and so I set up a video camera, and I have determined that I think she is a prostitute, and I'm curious to know how we can go about kicking her out of the condominium unit, because I have video footage of her engaging in sexual acts with these gentlemen.
Mark, are you on the board?
No, I am not on the board.
Okay, you have a couple of options. One is to bring your information to the board and notify them of the violations that are going on and the potential legal problems that are happening. Under the statutes, if the board doesn't take action, you as a unit owner have the right to bring legal action against the owner of the unit. Is this individual an owner or a tenant?
She's an owner.
Well, if she's an owner, that makes it a little more difficult to remove
I told
her.
her I wasn't going to pursue any legal action if she, let me get involved, but she's not letting me get involved. So I told her I have the videos of her.
Okay,
And I'm
thank you for
planning on-
calling,
I'm
Mark.
planning on releasing the videos.
Thank you for calling.
Wow. That's one I've never heard before.
Mark's a funny
Well, I
guy.
don't want to hear again.
Mark's a funny guy. Thanks, Mark.
The food and who's coming in and out of the apartment. But I'm sure, don't you have people that, forget about what he saw, but don't you get people that are upset about someone having live parties all the time, or
Noise
people coming
nuisances,
in
sure.
and out? Does that occur?
Noise nuisances occurs. That's sure that those types of nuisance behavior occur quite frequently. What most communities, what all communities I presume do, they should first try to address them internally. If an individual has an issue with a neighbor of a nuisance nature, of a noise nuisance nature, to the extent, obviously, if they can address it neighborly, that would be ideal. But I'm certainly not. Some people aren't reasonable on either side of that equation. So, as Robert mentioned, if you have an issue a nuisance issue, or you believe that you have a nuisance issue, then report it to the board if there's a management company, through the management company. If not, then directly to the board, and so that the board can investigate. What owners do need to understand, especially in all setting, condominium or HOA setting, if it's a nuisance that is bothering you and you alone, while the association can make an effort to try to assist you and try to reach a reasonable resolution, the associations aren't a private police force to address he said, or he said, she said type issues.
Or make the decision who's right and who's wrong.
Right. And so that's where...
Can't you contact the police? I mean, if it's after a certain time
Well,
at night.
police really depends on the issue.
Right.
If it's a noise issue and there are ordinances involved, more often than not, the police in private communities consider it more of a civil issue if it isn't something that is a blatant violation of the law and happens in their presence.
Because I know in Coral Springs, after a certain time at night, I mean, like, there was even a bar. Don't you remember there was a bar in Coral Springs that they they actually shut down because
Sure.
the residents were complaining.
Sure.
Right.
Late at night, absolutely. Generally after 11.
11 o'clock.
But if it's a nuisance that's interfering with members of the community, more than one, certainly that's an association issue, and the board management, they should be sending violation notices along the lines of any other violation. Send violation notices, get it under control. If the owners are occupants, if it's like Robert asked, is it an owner or tenant? But so if it's a tenant or an occupant, you're notifying that occupant or that tenant as well as the owner, because the owners are responsible for the actions of their occupants, their guests.
Right, and if it's an occupant that's violating, the association can bring legal action to compel the owner to cause their removal. Some documents allow the association to evict them. If it's an owner that's violating, that's a remedy that's more difficult to attain. Usually you'll get a court order that says stop violating, but not you have to leave.
Right.
888-565-1470. We got an email earlier this morning from our tweeting we do. So here was the question we got. It said, getting back to your seminars, how do they help attendees navigate the Fair Housing Act and implement the laws mandated in the community associations? That meant nothing to me, but it sure must to you.
Right. Oh, and that's a subject matter that will likely come up in each of the town hall seminars that we do over the next 6 months. How we'll help them with is along the line, a more expanded answer, what I just mentioned to our earlier caller, which is really the process of how to go about addressing when individuals are requesting accommodations to the pet restrictions. It's certainly something that 1 hour class that we provide basically is all encompassing. That's what we talk about for an hour. At these town hall seminars, then we kind of give an abbreviated version, although as Robert will tell you, I can easily talk for an hour on that subject.
Okay. And often does.
Under what circumstances can they deny a service pet or an assistance pet?
Well, I'd say and again, we're talking generally, these are fact-specific situations. And I think that under most fact-based situations, denial is going to be a risky response if the individual has been able to provide documentation from a qualified medical provider. And that's really what it comes. So the answer to your question is, when can they deny? If they haven't provided that type of assistance. We have a recent situation where we assisted one of our clients. They denied an individual who wanted to keep a second dog. They had one, and it was a one-pet community, and they wanted a second dog, claiming it was a support animal, but they had no documentation to support it. Investigation showed that it was not. They did actually file an action for discrimination with the Broward County Civil Rights Division, Human Rights Division, which is not uncommon. And that's what Robert mentioned earlier. You need to be careful, and you want to seek out legal counsel on these matters, get good guidance so that you try to avoid the scenario. But you can't always avoid it. They did an initial investigation. We were able to assist our client in responding, providing a position statement, and the response on this was no reasonable cause, no probable cause. The case was closed, and it was very timely, and time is money, so it was very cost effective in having it resolved. So it does happen, but it's important that board members do their due diligence. My opening line, and I'll just say it here, is when you get a request for an accommodation, never say no, but don't just say yes. You have the right to undertake a reasonable investigation, and you should do so before granting the approval.
There's also a recent case that can illustrate the situation from the perspective of when you can deny somebody, as you've asked. In this particular case, the unit owner and the community had a pet, and the association went to the owner and said, you can't have a pet. Sometime into this dispute between them, the owner decides to then submit an application for a reasonable accommodation that it's an emotional support animal. This went all the way into the court system, and the court looked at the facts and circumstances and said, you've had this dog for a long time. You never had it as an emotional support animal until the time came when the association said you can't have that anymore. So the court didn't believe that they really needed it, and so the court found in favor of the association.
Those judges are very smart.
Getting it to that point can be very expensive.
Right, and it's rare that it goes to that point because a lot of associations don't want to expend the time and the resources.
And generally, there's a process where there's first an administrative complaint to a local agency to investigate whether or not discrimination occurred, and if they find there's probable cause, then they go through the Attorney General's office and file a civil action against the association, which is paid for by the state of Florida. So the complaining owner isn't paying an attorney to deal with it, while the association will have to. Often an association's insurance has a exception to cover a discrimination claim, and they won't provide coverage, the association then has to pay their own way.
We have a wide range geographically of listeners. Do you cover Martin County also?
We do.
Port St. Lucie?
Yes.
Where else are we? I know we're in Stewart. We have listeners there. And what about Dade? Do you handle anything in Dade at all?
We do.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a client base that stretches from Monroe County all the way up to Martin County, so over to Collier County.
Okay,
We
great.
even have a client in Sebring now.
And Sebring and up in the Orlando area, St. Lucie.
So it's not just Palm
Mr.
Beach.
Rambam
and
goes
Raleigh.
to Jacksonville.
Wow.
So let's
and
go to our
Daytona, I
last.
believe,
Let's go to
yeah.
our last break, and
To
we come back.
Tallahassee.
We've got some more association talk. We'll be right back.
Is your community association looking for prompt, effective, cost-efficient, and understandable legal advice and services? You'll find that and more with K. Bender Rembaum, a full-service commercial law firm concentrating on the representation of more than 800 community associations throughout Florida. With offices in Broward and Palm Beach counties, K. Bender Rembaum assists clients in all matters of association representation, including but not limited to collection of assessments, contract negotiation, covenant review and amendment, covenant enforcement, and construction defect claims. Under the direction of attorneys Robert K., Michael Bender, and Jeffrey Rembaum, K. Bender Rembaum is dedicated to providing clients with an unparalleled level of personalized and professional service regardless of their size, and takes into account their individual needs and financial concerns. For more information, visit www.kbrlegal.com or call 954-928-0680.
And we're back. These free town hall meetings, these certifications are so important, and we just have the right people that want to give back also in studio with us today. Can we go over the dates, the certifications that you have, and the town hall meeting, the free town hall meeting is in November?
The first free town hall seminar will be in Tamarack in early November. And that has been, the date is, I'm not 100% sure on the date, and I don't want to miss, but it is up on our website already.
So give your website address out again.
You've taught me well. kbrlegal.com. And we encourage everyone to go check out the website. There is a tab there that is very clear that talks about seminars and programs, and you can click on that and get the dates for all of our town hall seminars as they get updated. And like we said, if you want to get on our email list, just let us know. info@kbrlegal.com. We will put you on our mailing list, and we will then email blast you invitations as each of the seminars come up, so you can attend one or all. They're all free, and there's no limit on how many you can attend. We also do the board member education and the fair housing classes,
Which is mandated. Now you have to get
you
certified.
have to be certified. All board members must have certification, whether you're a condominium board member, cooperative board member, or HOA board member. And quite frankly, I'm very comfortable saying that no one has left any of these classes without saying they haven't taken away a lot of good information. Even if they've attended others or more than one of ours, they always get some good information. You have different attendees, different questions get asked, and it is really some good information, and you get to take away some good materials as well.
And is there a charge for the certification?
No charge for any of our classes.
Which is incredible.
And the food.
Yes.
Remember that, Mark. For you, Mark. There is a condominium board member certification class in Pompano tomorrow, October 7th. That's from 6:30 to 8:30. And the next condominium board member class in Palm Beach Gardens will be October 21st. The next HOA class in Pompano is October 21st, and in Palm Beach Gardens, October 14th.
Perfect. So obviously these people have to be certified. So what role does the education play running a community association?
Well, again, and Robert, you can piggyback if you'd like, but as a board member, you're volunteering, and you're tasked with you're expected to have substantive knowledge of a lot of different areas in order to allow you to be I guess, the best at what you're doing. When you step up to volunteer on a board, you're essentially running a corporation. Some of these businesses are quite large, and it does come with a fiduciary obligation to ensure the smooth operation of your community, to ensure that you act in the best interest of your community, and to ensure that your governing documents are uniformly followed and enforced. And the education that you get at any of our classes, these board member certification classes or the town hall seminars, even the emotional support animal class, although it's a limited subject matter, it does give you as board members or even property managers that additional guidance when you are unsure of what your rights and responsibilities are and what you can do and can't do and what you should do or shouldn't do.
So do property managers have to be certified as well?
Well, property managers need to be licensed in the state of Florida.
Okay.
And as part of their licensing, they have continuing education credits that they have to obtain every year.
And some of them are legal. But what the board certification classes generally are geared toward is more to the individual board members and the operational. The property managers should know most of this operational information because they have to pass a test in order to get their license that covers a lot of the same material.
I hope they don't get upset with this question. You're in front of basically hundreds, thousands of people who are decision makers when it comes to association. And tell everybody why they should have a law firm like you representing them. And hey, this is the time to do it.
Sure. Well, when you're looking for a community association lawyer, you obviously want to be looking for a law firm that has experience in community association practice. And I would recommend that a firm that concentrates in that practice. And that is one thing, something that we do offer. As Robert mentioned, since 1991, our firm is concentrated in community association law, and that is what we've done. That's what we do. And as general corporate counsel for our associations, we handle all aspects of community association representation. They always know they have someone to go to. As important with your lawyer is you need someone who's accessible and responsive. And that's something we pride ourselves on. So you get the combination of the experience and the excellent customer service. So I think...
Well, listen, I saw all the employees that you had. No, but that's why it's important. You can tell customer service is very important.
It is important, and it's been our mission statement from the beginning. Rarely does a board member call the law firm because they want to chat. They call because they have an issue, a problem that's important to them, needs to be solved. They also need to receive information that they can understand. They don't need to have to hire an interpreter to tell them what the legal opinion from the lawyer is. It's always our intent to provide written opinions in a format that is readily understandable by the layperson, which most of our clients are. When we need to write legalese, we write legalese, but when we're directing things to our clients, we strive for complete understanding. That's very important. It's also important that the people be aware that we also offer a collection program that is not as unique as it used to be, but we were pioneers of the area of providing deferred billing and cost advancement in a format with 24/7 report availability through our website that many, in fact, the vast majority of our clients find very helpful.
Do board members ever try to handle this themselves without representation? To try to save money? Do they ever do that? Or most boards all represented by law firms?
The old joke is you can pay us a little bit now, or you can pay us a lot later.
Right. I am often surprised when going out to, especially when we're at these expos or these trade shows or even at these seminars, these town halls, where individuals, board members will come up and say, we don't have counsel. Now, they may be in between counsel, but some of them don't. And God bless, I guess they've never had a legal issue, which means they've never had a contract that they've executed. They've never had any delinquencies, which both of those are unlikely. So I would say, yes, there are some communities who look to perhaps save $1 in that aspect. And we understand. People think of the lawyer and think, oh, that's going to cost us money. But again, as I mentioned earlier, you're this isn't your personal pocketbook, so to speak. It's you're running a business. And when you run a business, you should have good business counsel. And you should have a line item in your budget to address potential legal needs and have experienced legal counsel. Again, we are someone who, one of the things we also do is we look long term. We don't nickel and dime our clients. We want to be able to work with them long term. We want them to know they have someone available to them when they need us. And so if you're looking for reasonable, but very experienced attorneys who care about customer service, then please feel free to give us a call. And it's no obligation, no charge, first consultation.
And don't remember from last time, you have over 800 clients. Is that a number I heard?
That is correct.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
We don't hear from them all the time.
Right.
Well, that's good. I mean, but it's really important that you do have good representation. That is so important. Like you said, it's either you can pay me now or pay me later. That's not.
No, it's a little now or a lot later.
Okay, but that's not the place to start watching where the budget is. No. And what our show is about is not just bringing you a law firm or a doctor, whatever. It's bringing you the best. And without a doubt, because we've gotten the email saying you guys have got the best. I know you would never say that, but we can. It's okay for us to say that. So if you're in between, like Michael just said, or you do not have representation, pick up the phone today or tomorrow. And what is your phone number at the office again?
The Pompano office is 954-928-0680. Palm Beach Gardens is 561-241-4462.
Steve, there is one other point you can mention, and that is attorneys are not exclusive in that an association can have more than one attorney that they work with. So if somebody has an attorney already and wants to test the waters with somebody else, they can do that as well.
Well, we're getting either the peace sign or we only have a few minutes left. Thank you guys so much for coming on today.
Pleasure.
Man, this is just so perfect.
Thank you guys for coming on.
For what we do.
Well, we're looking forward
to
next month.
Yeah, and yes, really important that the firm is going to be with us every month. So if you didn't get a chance to ask questions this time, call us. We'll be on. We'll give you the date in the next couple of weeks. Thanks for listening today. Peace and love, everybody.
We're out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Experts show with Steve-O and Renee. Tune in every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. while some of the top local experts in their field from Broward and Palm Beach counties educate you in the areas of law, health, financial, and home improvement. You can also call our offices at 888-574-6999 to become an expert on our show. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly